Act 5, Scene 1, Athens, before the altars of Mars, Venus, and Diana. Enter Theseus, Pirithous, and Hippolyta.
Now let him enter, and before the gods tender their holy prayers. Let the temples burn bright with sacred fires, and the altars in hallowed clouds commend their swelling incense to those above us. Let no dew be wanting. They have a noble work in hand, will honor the very powers that love them.
Sir, they enter.
You valiant and strong-hearted enemies, you royal German foes, that this day come to blow that nearness out that flames between you, lay by your anger for an hour, and dove-like, before the holy altars of your helpers, the all-feared gods, bow down your stubborn bodies. Your ire is more than mortal, so your help be. And as the gods regard you, fight with justice. I leave you to your prayers, and betwixt you, I part my wishes.
Honor crowns the worthiest.
Glass is running now that cannot finish till one of us expire. Think you but thus, that were there aught in me which strove to show mine enemy in this business, were it one eye against another, arm oppressed by arm, I would destroy the offender, cause I would, though parcel of myself. Then from this gather how I should tender you.
I am in labor to push your name, your ancient love, our kindred out of my memory, and in the self-same place to seat something I would confound. So hoist we the sails that must these vessels port, even where the heavenly limiter pleases.
You speak well. Before I turn, let me embrace thee, cousin. This I shall never do again.
One farewell.
Why, let it be so. Farewell, cousin.
Farewell, sir. Knights, kinsmen, lovers, yea, my sacrifices, true worshippers of Mars, whose spirit in you expels the seeds of fear and the apprehension, which still is father of it. Go with me before the God of our profession. There, require of him the hearts of lions and the breath of tigers, yea, the fierceness too. Yea, the speed also to go on, I mean, else we wish to be snails. You know my prize must be dragged out of blood. Force and great feet must put my garland on, where she sticks the queen of flowers. Our intercession then must be to him that makes the camp a cistern, brimmed with the blood of men. Give me your aid and bend your spirits towards him. Thou, mighty one, that with thy power hath turned green Neptune into purple, whose approach comets pre-warn, whose havoc in vast field unearthed skulls proclaim, whose breath blows down the teeming Sarah's foison, who dost pluck with hand armipotent form from froth blue clouds, the mason turrets that both masked and breaks the stony girths of cities. Me, thy pupil, youngest follower of thy drum, instruct this day with military skill, that to thy laud I may advance my streamer, and by thee be styled the Lord of the day. Give me, great Mars, some token of thy pleasure. O great corrector of enormous times, shaker of the over-ranked states, thou grand decider of dusty and old titles, that healest with thy blood the earth when it is sick, and curest the world of the pleurisy of people, I do take thy signs auspiciously, and in thy name do to my design march boldly. Let us go.
Our stars must glister with new fire, or be today extinct. Our argument is love, which, if the goddess of it grant, she gives victory too. Then blend your spirits with mine, you whose free nobleness do make my cause your personal hazard. To the goddess Venus commend we our proceeding, and implore her power unto our party. Hail, sovereign queen of secrets, who hast power to call the fiercest tyrant from his rage and weep unto a girl, that hast the might, even with an eye glance, to choke Mars' drum and turn the alarm to whispers, that canst make a cripple flourish with his crutch and cure him before Apollo, that mayst force the king to be his subject's vassal and induce stale gravity to dance, the polled bachelor whose youth, like wanton boys through bonfires, have skipped thy flame, at 70 thou canst catch, and make him, to the scorn of his hoarse throat, abuse young lays of love. What godlike power hast thou not power upon? To Phoebus thou add'st flames hotter than his. The heavenly fires did scorch his mortal son, thine him. The huntress, all moist and cold, some say, began to throw her bow away and sigh. Take to thy grace me, thy vowed soldier, who do bear thy yoke as 'twere a wreath of roses, yet is heavier than lead itself, stings more than nettles. I have never been foul-mouthed against thy law, ne'er revealed secret, for I knew none, would not, had I kenned all that were. I never practiced upon man's wife, nor would the libels read of liberal wits. I never at great feasts sought to betray a beauty, but have blushed at simpering sirs that did. I have been harsh to large confessors, and have hotly asked them if they had mothers. I had one, a woman, and woman 'twere they wronged. I knew a man of 80 winters, this I told them, who a lass of 14 brided. 'Twas thy power to put life into dust. The aged cramp had screwed his square foot round, the gout had knit his fingers into knots, torturing convulsions from his globy eyes had almost drawn their spheres, that what was life in him seemed torture. This anatomy had by his young fair fear a boy, and I believed it was his, for she swore it was, and who would not believe her? Brief, I am to those that prate and have done, no companion. To those that boast and have not, a defier. To those that would and cannot, a rejoicer. Yea, him I do not love that tells close offices the foulest way, nor names concealments in the boldest language. Such a one I am, and vow that lover never yet made sigh truer than I. Oh, then, most sweet and soft goddess, give me the victory of this question, which is true love's merit, and bless me with the sign of thy great pleasure. Oh, thou that from 11 to 90 reign'st in mortal bosoms, whose chase is this world, and we in herds thy game, I give thee thanks for this fair token, which being laid unto mine innocent true heart, arms in assurance my body to this business. Let us rise and bow before the goddess. Time comes on.
Enter Amelia in white, her hair about her shoulders, wearing a wheaten wreath, one in white holding up her train, her hair stuck with flowers, one before her carrying a silver hind, in which is conveyed incense and sweet odors, which being set upon the altar of Diana, her maids standing aloof, she sets fire to it. Then they curtsy and kneel.
O sacred, shadowy, cold, and constant queen, abandoner of revels, mute, contemplative, sweet, solitary, white as chaste and pure as wind-fanned snow, who to thy female knights allowest no more blood than will make a blush, which is their order's robe. I here, thy priest, am humbled for thine altar. O vouchsafe with that rare green eye, which never yet beheld thing maculate. Look on thy virgin and sacred silver mistress, lend thine ear which ne'er heard scurril term, into whose port ne'er entered wanton sound, to my petition seasoned with holy fear. This is my last of vestal office. I am bride-habited, but maiden-hearted. A husband I appointed, but do not know him. Out of two I should choose one and pray for his success, but I am guiltless of election. Of mine eyes were I to lose one, they are equal precious. I could doom neither. That which perished should go to unsentenced. Therefore, most modest queen, he of the two pretenders that best loves me and has the truest title in it, let him take off my wheaten garland, or else grant the file and quality I hold, I may continue in thy band.
Here the hind vanishes under the altar, and in the place ascends a rose tree, having one rose upon it.
See what our general of ebbs and flows out from the bowels of her holy altar with sacred act advances. But one rose. If well inspired, this battle shall confound both these brave knights, and I, a virgin flower, must grow alone, unplucked. The flower is fallen. The tree descends. O mistress, thou here dischargest me. I shall be gathered. I think so, but I know not thine own will. Unclasp thy mystery. I hope she's pleased. Her signs were gracious.
Act 5, Scene 2. A darkened room in the prison. Enter doctor, jailer, and wooer in the habit of Palamon.
Has this advice I told you done any good upon her?
Oh, very much. The maids that kept her company have persuaded her that I am Palamon. Within this half hour, she came smiling to me and asked me what I would eat and when I would kiss her. And I told her presently, and I kissed her twice.
'Twas well done. 20 times had been far better, for there the cure lies mainly.
Then she told me she would watch with me tonight, for well she knew what hour my fit would take me.
We'll let her do so. And when your fit comes, fit her home, and presently.
She would have me sing.
You did so?
Oh, no.
'Twas very ill done, then. You should observe her every way.
Alas, I have no voice, sir, to confirm her that way.
That's all one if you make a noise. If she entreat again, do anything. Lie with her if she ask you.
Oh, there, doctor!
Yes, in the way of cure.
But first by leave in the way of honesty.
That's but a niceness. Ne'er cast your child away for honesty. Cure her first this way. Then, if she will be honest, she has the path before her.
Thank you, doctor.
Pray, bring her in. Let's see how she is.
I will, and tell her Palamon stays for her. But, doctor, methinks you are in the wrong still.
Go, you fathers are fine fools. Her honesty. We should give her physic till we find that.
Why do you think she is not honest, sir?
How old is she?
She's 18.
Well, she may be, but that's all one. 'Tis nothing to our purpose. Whate'er her father says, if you perceive her mood inclining the way that I spoke of, videlicet the way of flesh. You have me?
Yes, very well, sir.
Please her appetite, and do at home. It cures her, ipso facto, the melancholy humor that infects her.
I am of your mind, doctor.
You'll find it so. She comes. Pray, humor her.
Come. Your love Palamon stays for you, child, and has done this long hour to visit you.
I thank him for his gentle patience. He's a kind gentleman, and I am much bound to him. Did you never see the horse he gave me?
Yes,
How do you like him?
very fine one.
You never saw him dance.
No,
I have often. He dances very finely, very calmly, and for jig, come cut, and long tail to him. He turns you like a top.
that's fine indeed.
He'll dance the Morris 20 miles an hour, and that will founder the best hobby horse, if I have any skill in all the parish, and gallops to the tune of Light O' Love. What think you of this horse?
Oh, having these virtues, I think he might be brought to play tennis.
Alas, that's nothing.
Wow, can he write and read too?
A very fair hand, and casts himself the accounts of all his hay and provender. That holster must rise bedtime that cozens him. You know the chestnut mare the Duke has?
Very well.
She is horribly in love with him. Poor beast. But he is like his master, coy and scornful.
What dowry has she?
Some 200 bottles and 20 strike of oats. But he'll ne'er have her. He lisps and neighing, able to entice. A miller's mare. He'll be the death of her.
What stuff she utters.
Make curtsy. Here your love comes.
Pretty soul, how do you? And now that's a fine maid. There's that curtsy.
Yours to command in the way of honesty. How far is it now to the end of the world, my master?
Why, a day's journey, wench.
Will you go with me?
What shall we do there, wench?
Why, play at stool ball. What is there else to do?
I am content. We shall keep our wedding there.
'Tis true. For there I will assure you we shall find some blind priests for the purpose that will venture to marry us. For here they are nice and foolish. Besides, my father would be hanged tomorrow, and that would be a blot in the business. Are not you Palamon?
Do not you know me?
Yes, but you care not for me. I have nothing but this poor petticoat and 2 coarse smocks.
That's all one. I will have you.
Will you surely?
Yes, by this fair hand will I.
Will to bed then?
And when you will.
Oh, sir, you would fain be nibbling.
Why do you rub my kiss off?
'Tis a sweet one, and will perfume you finely against the wedding. Is not this your cousin Archite?
Yes, sweetheart, and I am glad my cousin Palamon has made so fair a choice.
Do you think he'll have me?
Yes, without doubt.
Do you think so too?
Yes.
We shall have many children. Lord, how you've grown. My Palamon, I hope, will grow too finely. Now he's at liberty. Alas, poor chicken, he was kept down with hard meat and ill lodging. But I'll kiss him up again.
What do you hear? You'll lose the noblest sight that e'er was seen.
They in the field.
They are. You bear a charge there too.
I'll away straight. I must e'en leave you here.
Nay, we'll go with you. I will not lose the sight.
You like her?
I'll warrant you, within these 3 or 4 days, I'll make her right again. You must not from her, but still preserve her in this way.
I will.
Let's get her in.
Come, sweet. We'll go to dinner, and then we'll play at cards.
And shall we kiss too?
I am 20.
And then we'll sleep together.
Take her off her.
Yes, marry will we.
But you shall not hurt me.
I will not, sweet.
If you do, love, I'll cry.
Act 5, Scene 3. A chamber beside the amphitheater set for the combat. Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Amelia, and Pirithous.
I'll no step further.
Will you lose this sight?
I had rather see a wren hawk at a fly than this decision. Every blow that falls threats a brave life. Each stroke laments the place whereon it falls, and sounds more like a bell than a blade. I will stay here. It is enough my hearing shall be punished with what shall happen, 'gainst the which there is no deafing but to hear. Not taint mine eye with dread sights it may shun.
Sir, my good lord, your sister will no further.
Oh, she must. She shall see deeds of honor in their kind, which sometimes show well penciled. Nature now shall make and act the story, the belief, both sealed with eye and ear. You must be present. You are the victor's meed, the price and garland to crown the question's title.
Pardon me. If I were there, I'd wink.
You must be there. This trial is as 'twere the night, and you the only star to shine.
I am extinct. There is but envy in the light which shows the one the other. Darkness, whichever was the dam of horror who does now stand accursed of many mortal millions, may even now by casting her black mantle over both, that neither could find the other, get herself some part of a good name, and many a murder set off whereto she's guilty.
You must go.
In faith I will not.
Why, the knights must kindle their valor at your eye. Know of this war, you are the treasure, and must needs be by to give the service pay.
Sir, pardon me. The title of a kingdom may be tried out of itself.
Well, well, then, at your pleasure. Those that remain with you could wish their office to any of their enemies.
Farewell, sister. I am like to know your husband for yourself by some small start of time. He whom the gods do of the two know best. I pray them he be made your lot.
Archite is gently visaged, yet his eye is like an engine bent or a sharp weapon in a soft sheath. Mercy and manly courage are bedfellows in his visage. Palamon has a most menacing aspect. His brow is graved and seems to bury what it frowns on. Yet sometimes 'tis not so, but alters to the quality of his thoughts. Long time his eye will dwell upon his object. Melancholy becomes him nobly. So does Archite's mirth. But Palamon's sadness is a kind of mirth, so mingled, as if mirth did make him sad and sadness merry. Those darker humors that stick misbecomingly on others, on them live in fair dwelling. Hark how yon spurs to spirit do incite the princes to their proof. Archite may win me, and yet may Palamon wound Archite to the spoiling of his figure. Oh, what pity enough for such a chance! If I were by, I might do hurt, for they would glance their eyes towards my seat, and in that motion might omit a ward or forfeit an offence which craved that very time. It is much better I am not there. Oh, better never born than minister to such harm. What is the chance?
The cry is a Palamon.
Then he has won. 'Twas ever likely. He looked all grace and success, and he is doubtless the primest of men. I prithee run and tell me how it goes.
Still Palamon.
Run and inquire. Oh, poor servant, thou hast lost. Upon my right side still I wore thy picture. Palamon's on the left. Why so I know not. I had no end in it else. Chance would have it so. On the sinister side lies the heart. Palamon had the best boding chance. Before the end of the combat.
They said that Palamon had Archite's body within an inch of the pyramid, that the cry was general, a Palamon, but anon the assistants made a brave redemption, and the two bold tidlers at this instance are hand to hand at it.
Were they metamorphosed both into one? Oh, why there were no woman worth so composed a man. Their single share, their noblest peculiar to them, gives the prejudice of disparity, value shortness to any lady breathing. More exulting? Palamon still?
Nay, now the sound is Archite.
Prithee, lay attention to the cry, set both thine ears to the business.
The cry is Archite, and victory! Hark! Archite, victory! The combat's consummation is proclaimed by the wind instruments.
Half-sight saw that Archite was no babe. God's lid, his richness and costliness of spirit, looked through him. It could no more be hid in him than fire in flax, than humble banks can go to law with waters that drift winds force to raging. I did think good Palamon would miscarry, yet I knew not why I did think so. Our reasons are not prophets when oft our fancies are. They're coming off, alas, poor Palamon.
Lo, where our sister is in expectation, yet quaking and unsettled, fairest Emily, the gods, by their divine arbitrament, have given you this night, he is a good one, as ever struck at head. Give me your hands, receive you her, you him, be plighted with a love that grows as you decay.
Emily, to buy you I have lost what's dearest to me, save what is bought, and yet I purchase cheaply, as I do rate your value.
Oh, loved sister, he speaks now of as brave a knight as e'er did spur a noble steed. Surely the gods would have him die a bachelor, lest his race should show the world too godlike. His behavior so charmed me that methought Alcides was to him a sow of lead. If I could praise each part of him to all I have spoke, your Archite did not lose by't, for he that was thus good encountered yet his better. I have heard two emulous Philomels beat the ear of the night with their contentious throats, now one the higher, anon the other, then again the first, and by outbreasted that the sense could not be judged between them. So it fared, good space between these kinsmen, till heavens did make hardly one the winner. Wear the garland with joy that you have won. For the subdued, give them our present justice, since I know their lives but pinch 'em. Let it here be done. The scene's not for our seeing. Go we hence, right joyful with some sorrow. Arm your prize. I know you will not lose her. Hippolyta, I see one eye of yours conceives a tear, the which it will deliver.
Is this winning? O all you heavenly powers, where is your mercy? But that your wills have said it must be so, and charged me live to comfort this unfriended, this miserable prince, that cuts away a life more worthy from him than all women, I should and would die too.
Infinite pity that four such eyes should be fixed on one, that two must needs be blind for it.
So it is.
Act 5, Scene 4, an execution ground outside of the amphitheater. Enter Palamon and his knights, pinioned and under guard, with the jailer and executioner.
There's many a man alive that hath outlived the love of the people. Yea, in the selfsame state stands many a father with his child. Some comfort we have by so considering. We expire, and not without men's pity. To live still, have their good wishes. We prevent the loathsome misery of age, beguile the gout and rheum that in lag hours attend for gray approachers. We come towards the gods young and unwappered, not halting under crimes many and stale. That sure shall please the gods sooner than such, to give us nectar with them, for we are more clear spirits. My dear kinsman, whose lives for this poor comfort are laid down, you have sold them too cheap.
What ending could be of more content? Or us the victors have fortune, whose title is as momentary, as to us death is certain. A grain of honor they not o'erweigh us.
Let us bid farewell, and with our patience anger tottering fortune, who at her certainest reels.
Come, who begins?
E'en he that led you to this banquet shall taste to you all. My friend, your gentle daughter gave me freedom once. You'll see it done now forever. Pray, how does she? I heard she was not well. Her kind of ill gave me some sorrow.
So she's well restored, and to be married shortly?
By my short life, I am most glad on't. 'Tis the latest thing I shall be glad of. Prithee, tell her so. Commend me to her, and to peace her portion, tender her this.
And nay, let's be offerers all.
Is it a maid?
Verily, I think so. A right good creature, more to me deserving than I can quit or speak of.
Commend us
to her.
Commend us to her.
The gods requite you and make her thankful.
Adieu, and let my life be now as short as my leave-taking.
Lead, courageous cousin.
We'll follow cheerfully.
Hold!
Hold ho! It is accursed haste you made if you have done so quickly. Noble Palamon, the gods will show their glory in a life that thou art yet to lead.
Can that be? When Venus I have set is false? How do things fare?
Arise, great sir, and give the tidings ear that are most dearly sweet and bitter.
What hath waked us from our dream?
Listen, your cousin, mounted upon a steed that Emily did first bestow upon him, a black one, owing not a hair worth of white, which some will say weakens his price, and many will not buy his goodness with this note, which superstition here finds allowance. On this horse is Archite trotting the stones of Athens, which the Calkins did rather tell than trample, for the horse would make his length a mile, if it pleased his rider to put pride in him. As he thus went counting the flinty pavement, dancing as 'twere to the music his own hooves made, for as they say, from iron came music's origin. What envious flint, cold as old satin, like him possessed with fire malevolent, dark a spark, or what fierce sulphur else to this end made? I comment not. The hot horse, hot as fire, took toy at this and fell to what disorder his power could give his will, bounds, comes on in, forgets school doing, being therein trained and of kind manage. Pig he whines at the sharp rowel, which he frets at rather than any jot obeys, seeks all foul means of boisterous and rough jadery to deceit his lord that kept it bravely. When not served, when neither curb would crack, girth break, nor differing plunges, disroot his rider whence he grew, but that he kept 'tween his legs on his hind hoofs, on ends he stands. That Archite's legs, being higher than his head, seemed with strange art to hang. His victor's wreath even then fell off his head, and presently backwards the jade comes o'er, and his full poise becomes the rider's load. Yet he is living, but such a vessel 'tis that floats but for the surge that next approaches. He much desires to have some speech with you. Lo, he appears.
Oh, miserable end of our alliance! The gods are mighty, Archite. If thy heart, thy worthy, manly heart, be yet unbroken, give me thy last words. I am Palamon, one that yet loves thee dying.
Take Emilia, and with her all the world's joy. Reach thy hand. Farewell. I have told my last hour. I was false, yet never treacherous. Forgive me, cousin. One kiss from fair Emilia. 'Tis done. Take her. I die.
Thy brave soul, seek Elysium.
I'll close thine eyes, Prince. Blessed souls be with thee. Thou art a right good man, and while I live, this day I give to tears.
And I to honor.
In this place first you fought. E'en very here I sundered you. Acknowledge to the gods our thanks that you are living. His part is played, and though it were too short, he did it well. Your day is lengthened, and the blissful dew of heaven does arouse you. The powerful Venus well hath graced her altar and given you your love. Our master, Mars, hath vouched his oracle, and to Archite gave the grace of the contention. So the deities have showed due justice. Bear this hence.
Oh, cousin, that we should things desire which do cost us the loss of our desire, that naught could buy dear love but loss of dear love.
Never fortune did play a subtler game. The conquered triumphs, the victor has the loss. Yet in the passage the gods have been most equal. Palamon, your kinsman hath confessed the right of the lady did lie in you, for you first saw her, and even then proclaimed your fancy. He restored her as your stolen jewel, and desired your spirit to send him hence forgiven. The gods, my justice, take from my hand, and they themselves become the executioners. Lead your lady off, and call your lovers from the stage of death, whom I adopt, my friends. A day or two, let us look sadly and give grace unto the funeral of Archite, in whose end the visages of bridegrooms will put on, and smile with Palamon, for whom but 1 hour since I was as dearly sorry, as glad of Archite, and am now as glad as for him am sorry. Oh, you heavenly charmers, what things you make of us! For what we lack, we laugh. For what we have, are sorry. Still, are children in some kind. Let us be thankful for that which is, and with you leave dispute that are above our question. Let's go off and bear us like the time.
I would now ask you how you liked the play. But as it is with schoolboys, cannot say I am cruel, fearful. Pray yet stay a while and let me look upon you. No man's smile? That goes hard, I see. He that hath loved a young handsome wench, then show his face. 'Tis strange if none be here, and if he will, 'gainst his conscience, let him hiss and kill our market. 'Tis in vain, I see, to stay you. Have it the worst can come then. No, what say you? And yet, mistake me not, I am not bold. We have no such cause, if the tale we have told, and 'tis no other, any way content you. For to that honest purpose it was meant you. We have our end, and you shall have ere long, I dare say, many a better to prolong your old loves to us. We and all our might rest at your service, gentlemen and ladies. Good night. hope that you enjoyed the Two Noble Kinsmen. Let's bring back our players. Jason Rennie, Christopher Carbo, Taylor Marr, Megan Wells, Elise Ashton, Richard Conley, Ron Dorn, Dave Demke, Emily Redman Hall, J.D. Mata, Julie Measley Grossman, Elizabeth Juvenal, Hadley Hulka, Nancy Pasquale, and I am Mary Carrick. Join us as we round out Shakespeare Project 2020 with the Phoenix and the Turtle and the Funeral Elegy. But we're not done yet because we still have the first 13 in the canon to record. So you'll be seeing more of us. But check in with us next time for the last 2 poems in the canon. Thanks for watching.